Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 314. I'm so excited to be here talking to you today, getting into all the reasons or all the ways you can unleash your badassery. So excited. But before we get there, I want to pause. I want to hold up a second and just remind you that you already are a badass. And if you missed the last episode, you're a badass, I'll prove it to you, or I'll prove it. Go back and listen, because you really are a badass. And so often we take these things for granted. We underestimate what it is that we've been through, what it is we've overcome. And so even when times are hard, know that you're still a badass. Even if you failed, even if you make a mistake, you're still a badass. Nothing about being a badass is about being perfect, right? It's just part of it, or a big part of it, is accepting it within yourself. And so I'll tell you, and I'll probably get into a little bit in this episode, but I've been challenged in my personal life and stuff comes up and it's like, crap, but I just said this. And so then it makes me challenge myself or remind myself, like, I'm not going to say something, or I'm not going to teach something that I don't walk the walk or I don't believe in. So that's a good way, right? Is when you teach, then you have to stand by your word. It's like, it helps kind of sink in what it is you already know. But then you also like, okay, I guess I better level up. I guess I better take my own advice. Like when the shit hits the fan, that's when it's like easy to go back and like, no, that was true then. Not now. It doesn't feel good now. But no, you're a badass. You're a badass. And so you can teach other people things, help bring them up, help cement yourself into it. But mainly, it's just embracing your own badassery and giving yourself grace during the tough times to say, it's okay if I made a mistake. It's okay if I screwed up. It's okay if I don't feel badass today. Or it's okay that I took a lazy day, right? Badasses need time off too. So that's the big thing, is just to give yourself grace. Recognize that you are a badass and you can get through this. All right, let's get into the episode. Super excited. And today we're going to talk about 5 ways to unleash your badassery. And like I said, you already are a badass. It's just a matter of realizing it yourself and tapping into it. So that's the huge part. Let's tap into what we already have and really just ignite that feeling in us. Really ignite the knowing that we're a badass. But if you feel like I'm just not resonating with it yet, I'm not ready to call myself a badass yet, then here are 5 tips that you can do to unleash your badassery. And the tip number 1 is embracing self-care. Now, this is so hard. It's so hard to embrace self-care because as women, most of us, we want to do everything for everyone. Yes, as I'm talking, I realized I wrapped a gift and I see the little tissue paper behind me. Could have moved it, but whatevs. So if you're watching the video version of this, oh well, right? Life. Anyway, as women, we want to take on everything and do so much for so many people. But it's like, you got to take care of yourself. You got to do things for yourself. And if you're not loving yourself, then it's going to be so hard to call yourself a badass, because that's crucial, is caring for yourself, nurturing yourself, really talking to yourself like you're your own best friend, or even like you're the child inside of you, like that's your child, right? And I was reading a book called Say It Out Loud by Badassery Kumar, and just, I'm not even going to be able to repeat it the right way, but something about how she said it was like, what do you need right now? How can I help you? And just like really talk to yourself and really just see, okay, what would feel soothing right now? Would you like hot chocolate, a glass of wine, Um, what is hurting right now? But just ask yourself questions and just give yourself grace like you would give to a friend or a child. And so self-care can look many different ways. We just said, or I just said hot chocolate or wine, or it could be a bath, or it could be just taking some time to yourself. Maybe you're constantly doing things for the kids, right? Okay, well then you pass them off to grandma, grandpa, or you pass them off to your spouse, and then you take some time to do something for yourself. Julia Cameron is the author of The Artist's Way, and so she says take yourself on artist dates. Like everyone should take themselves on their own date to inspire their creativity, to get some inspiration flowing. And so do things that are out of the normal. But creativity is gonna look different for everybody. For some people, it's gonna be going outside and taking a walk. Did I say creativity is gonna be different for everybody? Not what I meant. Self-care is going to be different for everybody, but it could be going outside, taking a walk, taking some time for yourself, doing something that relaxes you. Maybe you love writing, so you start writing for a little bit. Just doing these little things for self-care. Self-care is even the thing I was talking to you about a few minutes ago, like the self-talk, and really just checking in with yourself and seeing what you need. Being present for how you're feeling. Like if you're feeling gross or you feel like tense, right, in your body, okay, take some time for that. And it's not easy. It is not easy. I've been working on this, I feel like for a couple years now, but I've not got to where I want to be. But that's okay. One day maybe. But really, that's what's going to energize you. That's what's going to energize you to do the next thing is your self-care routines. And so you know what? If you're not doing self-care, it's not about beating yourself up. It's about, okay, how can I add more of it? Even if it's just 5 minutes a day. And then just do 5 minutes a day of self-care. And I think that we underestimate how just a little action, a little bit of self-care can completely change the outcome of your day. So really sink into that, incorporate 5 minutes of self-care, something that lights you up, makes you happy, incorporate that into your day and see how it changes your life because I think it's so amazing. Okay, number 2, the second thing to unleash your badassery, and I feel like my foot is going to sleep here, so bear with me. The second thing to unleashing your badassery is challenging your comfort zone. Doing things to step out of your comfort zone. And this can be really hard. This is so hard doing things, and it doesn't always work out, right? I was telling you at the beginning of this episode, this week was a little bit hard for me. And I took a promotional test. I did not get it. I stepped way out of my comfort zone and did something that I hadn't done before. And guess what? I didn't get the promotion. So that sucks. But you know what? It wasn't meant to be. At least I stepped out of my comfort zone. At least I did something different. And as I'm saying that, now I got to read a quote to you from Jamie Kern Lima. I heard her on the Ed Milet podcast, and this just resonated with me. So she said she pretends that she hears God saying to her, "You're not rejected. I hid your value from them because they're not your assigned destiny." I'm going to read it again. You're not rejected. I hid your value from them because they're not your assigned destiny. And I don't care if you don't believe in God, you want to say the universe, if you just want to think of it as a concept, right? Like, they couldn't see my value because they're not my destiny. They're not my future. That isn't the right place for me, right? And so go back and just think about that for a second. And then it's like, you challenged your comfort zone. You did the thing. You got in the arena and did the work. And so like, that's the win. That's the win, is putting yourself out there. And I'll tell you, this week when that happened, I didn't feel like a badass. I felt crappy. And it was hard, right? And you always want, well, I don't know that you always want to win, but like I put my best effort out there. And so it always sucks when I don't see the result that I want. But that's part of the learning. That's part of the growing process. Like, you just don't know what that experience could do for you. So How can you challenge yourself this week? What can you do to push yourself out of your comfort zone, to try something new? What is something that you've always been wanting to try, but you haven't done it? Do that this week. And if it's like, can't go skydiving this week, okay, cool. But what can you do to inch yourself towards that goal? Maybe it's researching it. It's getting online and getting on the Google and checking it out. Okay, where can I go skydiving? What are the prices like? What do I need to start saving up for? And just look at your different options, because that feels exciting too. When you have a dream or something you've wanted to do and you start researching it, that feels cool. Because it's something badass that you've been wanting to do. And of course, it doesn't have to be something extreme like skydiving. I was just trying to think like, what could somebody not do tomorrow? And so, yeah, maybe you can't do skydiving within the week, but you could start making plans for it. Whatever your thing is, maybe you want to go to Costa Rica. Okay. Can you start looking it up? See how much a trip would cost you? So you can start saving money or making plans. Start looking at where you could make reservations. Just little things to start putting seeds in your head like, oh, this is gonna happen. I'm gonna do it. So step out of your comfort zone, even when it's freaking hard, and then take those little steps so that you are getting to where you want to go. And sometimes, like Dr. Mike Bechtel, who was on the podcast before, he had said, like, it's not just about like running and jumping over your comfort zone. It's just putting your toe over the edge, just a little bit. Because that still feels scary, right? Like going a little bit further than you've ever gone, and you just keep doing that. You just keep taking little steps until you get there. And that makes it not so terrifying. Okay, number 3. The third thing that can help you to unleash your badassery is who you surround yourself with. Surround yourself with positive influences. Now, I think it was Jim Rohn said you're the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with. The people you hang out with have a huge influence on your life. And that's something else. It's like, are the people around you, are they lifting you up? Or are they bringing you down? Are they making you feel crappy about yourself? When you tell them something exciting that happened, are they like, yahoo? Or are they like, yeah, you shouldn't have tried that. You can't do that anyway. Or you tell them something you're going for and they just shoot you down and tell you all of the reasons why it couldn't possibly be. Stop talking to those people. Now, it doesn't have to be extreme. It doesn't have to be like, so-and-so, family member, I'm never talking to you again. No, you could see them on the holidays or when it's right for you, but you don't have to tell those people who are going to shoot you down. You don't have to tell them your dreams. And what happens sometimes is that we're scared. We're scared for ourselves. And so we'll go to those people that we know will shoot us down. We know who will tell us it's a bad idea because they're going to say, oh no, that's horrible. That's too hard. I wouldn't even try it. We go to them, we hear that, and then that gives us permission to back out. So keep your dreams like special. Keep them private. Keep them amongst your closest friends and family, the people who are going to support you and love you and push you and challenge you or pick you up when you fall. Keep your dreams around those people, not around the negative Nellies that are going to have something crappy to say about whatever you do. So be protective about your people. That's why I love the Ordinary to Badass crew, because you're always supportive of each other, helping lift each other up. And that's massive, massive. It's like the impact of having badasses around you. It's so awesome. Like it can totally accelerate your life. But then also, once you start stepping out, you start doing these crazy badass things. You start like taking the challenges. Then it's funny to say, look at all the people around me who are doing it. They're all challenging themselves too. Like they get inspired by seeing you take action. You don't even have to say anything to them. Or you could just tell them what you're doing And they're like, she did something that was out of her comfort zone. She did something that didn't feel safe. Maybe I can. So you give other people permission to unleash their badassery. It's like, you only have one life. It's time to like get up and go. It's time to take action. Comfort zone pushing it, it's always going to be, I don't know that even hard is the right word. It's always going to, you're always going to grow from it, right? You're going to expand. You're going to learn. And I think that it just makes it easier to do it next time. Not that that task is going to be easy, but it just feels like, I've done hard things before. I can do this. So it just lets you get used to maybe the uncomfortableness of doing something new, the uncomfortableness of stretching and growing. But you can do it. So I kind of reverted back to the comfort zone thing, even though we were talking about surrounding yourself with positive people, but it's kind of all encompassing, right? We want to surround ourselves with positive people. We want to push our comfort zone, and we need to embrace self-care, especially if we want to be a badass for those people around us. We have to love ourselves before going outside and loving other people. It's so important. Okay, and the fourth way to unleash your badassery, be a badass. Now, I'm telling you. Just kidding. The fourth way is to practice your assertiveness, to practice your boundary setting. So that was my assertiveness, saying be a badass. Now, so often we forget to set boundaries. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm great at this, but it's just telling people what we need, telling people what works for us, what doesn't work for us. And it's like, okay, this is what I'm willing to accept. This is what I'm not. Or this is what you can say to me, and this is what you can't. I know someone who went through a breakup, right? And so she told her family, because she knew her family wasn't going to be supportive. She went through a breakup. So she said, okay, I don't want to hear a comment from you guys. I'm going to tell you what happened, and I don't want to hear any comments. She didn't hear any comments. So sometimes it's just about setting that boundary. It's putting the preference up front. I know sometimes being assertive can get a bad rap. And especially as women, it can be like, oh, very assertive. They're a big B word, right? No, it doesn't have to be that way. It's actually like, it can be refreshing when you hear somebody that's assertive, that knows what they want, that just say it out loud, right? I used to have this thing for going out to eat. I would never say where I wanted to go. It would be very rare. Maybe if the person I was with was like, oh, this or this. Maybe, but even then, I thought I was being kind. I thought I was being nice, but being just, oh, you pick. Or, oh, I make so many decisions throughout my day at work. I don't want to make a decision after work. You know what? It's not being kind to put decisions on other people all the time. And that's how we start to lose our voice too, is by letting someone else make all the decisions for us. You have an opinion, and it's fine to let other people make decisions. Sometimes it's just not as healthy to let them make it all the time. So it's like, well, I know you don't care, but if you did care, where would you choose? You can ask yourself that. If you did care, where would you choose? And just push yourself to make some of those decisions. And then that helps, because just those teeny tiny decisions helps you to make bigger decisions and be more assertive and set better boundaries, right? It's just making a bunch of little decisions. And so I think it's like you start to trust yourself. Like, oh, I made that decision and it worked out. Okay, I made that one and it worked out. And it's also just knowing whatever decision you make is going to be the right one. Or you did it with the most information you had. So it's hard to go back and second guess those choices or decisions you made, because you did it with all the knowledge you had at the time. So it's badass to be assertive, to make decisions, to set some boundaries. Where do you need to be more assertive in your life? It's kind of funny because oftentimes we'll have it in one area of our life. Like for some people, it's at home. For other people, it's at work. And I don't know why it is we tend to categorize these things into certain sections. Sometimes it can be everywhere. It can. But then other times it's just one place because you've gotten into a habit, right? And whatever that situation or scenario is, you get into a habit. And so the more you've done that habit, the more it's just the new normal. So that's why it's like taking these little tiny things and being assertive about it or setting a boundary about it. Who do you need to set a boundary with? I bet you a name came to your head about who you need to set a boundary with. And so it could just be thinking of a way to say it, right? Thinking of a way to say it. Heck, throw on. I thought maybe I had some I Am a Badass glasses around here. Oh, yep. 1 second. I do. Okay. Throw on your I Am a Badass glasses and then have the conversation and then set the limit. The glasses have like a little thing on the inside that say, I am a badass. So you put them on and then you have this tough conversation and it kind of can give you the courage. It can remind you of your badassery. So use tools, use things to help you. If you have some sort of symbol at home, something that has made you feel like a badass. And so you can use that to look at it and remind you, to give you courage to do the hard things. So you can be assertive even if you don't feel like you are now. You can set some boundaries and it doesn't have to be hardcore. It can be just a simple boundary. Like, hey, before 6 a.m., I can't do X, Y, or Z. After 8 p.m., I'm not taking any phone calls. Whatever it is, just set small boundaries. And then when you set the small boundaries, it becomes a whole heck of a lot easier to set the big boundaries. So don't sell yourself short. Set some boundaries. It's healthy. And what you're doing is you're treating other people, or you're telling other people how you want to be treated. And if you have children, then you're setting an example for them. This is how you treat women. This is how you treat the people around you. Okay. Let's move on. The last one, 5th way to unleash your badassery is to celebrate your wins. Okay, I'm going to take off the glasses for a moment because I'm seeing the lights kind of reflecting on them. Celebrate your stinking wins. It could sound so hard, or maybe even sound so easy. I guess that's how you look at it. It can sound one way, but you know what? Celebrate your stinking wins. We worked so hard to get to that dang goal, and we do all this work to get there, and then off to the next goal, off to the next thing, and we totally forget what it took to get to where we are. And how are you going to appreciate anything in life if all you're doing is setting the goal, setting the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one? Look at where you are. Look at what you've accomplished. You have done amazing things. And I love you for it. I love you for doing the things that you've done. And it's time to love yourself for it. It's time to get excited. So if you're working on a goal right now, what is your celebration going to be? What are you going to do to celebrate your win? What are you going to do to remind yourself, like, you stinking rocked this. You did it. Do something. Something that's going to help you feel more awake, more alive. So I think it's helpful for me anyway, to set the win. Like, when I get this win, when X happens, I'm going to do Y. And that will remind me, or I'll already know. And also on those hard days, when it's stinking hard to keep going, then you have what you know is going to be a win. You have something you want to do or want to have. Like, maybe say, okay, after I do this, then I'm going to get a coach purse, if that's your thing, right? And if that makes you excited, lights you up on those hard days when it's hard to keep going, like, the excitement of the win can help pull you through. Because going through the drudgery of setting your goals, of doing the hard things, and getting to the end, it's like, oh, this is it. Okay, let me move on. And so it just doesn't leave any joy. It squeezes the joy out of the journey. So make sure that you're celebrating yourself. Make sure you have, I know we talked about those positive people in your life, have those positive people who are going to celebrate with you. Not the people who are going to be like, talk down to you because you moved a step up or they're worried you're going to surpass them. It's not a competition. We can lift each other up, but celebrate with people that are going to lift you up too. People who are going to be legitimately excited for you. So these things really will help you to feel more and more badass. We just have to embrace them and incorporate them into our lives. So I'm going to do a quick recap because I know for me, sometimes when I'm thinking, I forget what happened in the one before. And so the first one is self-care. Make sure you have a daily practice, even if it's just 5 minutes, of implementing self-care. Number 2, challenge your comfort zone. Do tiny things to help you push out of your comfort zone. Put one toe over the edge of your comfort zone. Okay. Surround yourself with positive people. That's number 3. Make sure you get people in your life who are supporting your goals and dreams. Number 4 is practice being assertive and setting boundaries. Again, this doesn't have to be all tough and mean. It can be something that you're doing just out of self-care, doing out of love for yourself, doing to keep your sanity. And it can just be small limits. And the more you do it, the easier it'll become. And then the 5th thing is to celebrate your stinking wins. I know you're a badass. You are doing great things. And when people tell you, I just thought of this, when people tell you like, oh, that was so awesome, you did such a good job. Note to self. Put that in your phone. Maybe have a notes app on your phone and put in there. When people tell you you did a good job, put that in there. So you can go back and recognize that. So you can see what a badass you are. You can see the wins that you've accomplished and get that little endorphin hit or that little rush because you've done great things. And I know you have. I know you're a badass. I just want you to be able to see it for yourself. I want you to like fully unleash your badassery and do these hard things and just, again, admitting you're a badass. That is awesome. So let me know. Go on to Instagram. I'm at Ordinary to Badass. Let me know, which one are you going to do? Which one are you going to work on? One of those probably resonated with you, or you're like, oh, I can do self-care. I can do this. I can do that. Okay. Take a screenshot of this episode, go onto the gram, tag me at Ordinary to Badass, and let me know which one resonated with you. 1 through 5. I want to know. It means the world to me when I get your feedback. It makes me so excited when I know that you're taking action and you're getting out there, doing the things, applying the things to your life. You don't have to tell your whole life story. I know I haven't always been great at sharing, so I can understand if you don't want to tell your whole life story. Just tell me, which one step are you implementing? That's it. You can just put self-care, comfort zone, like keep it simple and snappy. That's good for me. I just love hearing from you. Okay, with that, we'll end our show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.